I'm tourist of Lily Travel Customer Care. I have heard a lot from our customers saying that Vietnam is a beautiful country and the people here are so nice and friendly. But you know, everywhere they have good people and bad people. So today, I will tell you about 10 scams you should know before coming to Vietnam for your travel. And I think this video will be very helpful for you because if you know about these scams in advance, you will avoid a lot of trouble. So let's go into right in the first one. The first one, motorbike taxi drivers. There are so many imitators that will trick tourists into thinking they are the taxi service. And these scammers have been known to try to the place in the middle of nowhere and ask for a lot of money. So how to avoid? The best way to avoid being ripped off by motorbike taxi is just simply to use the Grab app. And it works similar to the Uber, so you can know the price before jumping on. 2. Switching the bills. It is very common for the scammers to trick you to giving the change using the smaller bills into the large bills amount. Because Vietnamese cash has so many zeros, so you will be get tricked easily. Commonly, this is done by switching the 500,000 Vietnam dong into 20,000 Vietnam dong because they are both blue. So how to avoid? The best way to avoid this is pay attention and double check with the amount of money that you have to pay for the seller. 3. Photographers around a touristic place. It's easy to get tricked into taking out touristy photos from a local, pretending to be the professional. The photo is fun, but not when you get tricked into paying an obscene amount for it. And the photographers are known to follow the tourists after the photo are taken, if they are not compensated. So how to avoid? The best way to avoid this is bring your own camera and take your own photos. 4. The shoe repairs. It's very common to get offered the shoe work on the streets of Vietnam. So it would be the best if you kindly decline and continue on your way. So how to avoid this? The best way to avoid the shoe shining scam in Vietnam is just simply not stop when someone approaches you. 5. Buy wheat from a guy on the street. If you see a guy on the street trying to sell for you the wheat, please do not buy because it might be a fake wheat and you might have to go to the police station. 6. Try the Vietnamese donuts. If you get invited by some Vietnamese woman on the street to buy the Vietnamese donuts like this, please do not buy because at the beginning, they might invite you for free, but later, after you finish eating, they might charge you for 10 times compared to the normal price. So how to avoid? It's very simple, just don't eat that donuts. Vietnam has so many delicious food options, so why not grab a bánh mì instead? 7. Do not buy an old and cheap SIM card. So some place for SIM card are not official place. So you might get tricked into buying an old and cheap SIM card. So when you wander into this business and you are promised to have unlimited data for 30 days, it might not be what you are getting. In some cases, some travelers have reported that their SIM card stopped working in just some couple of days' time. So how to avoid this? The best way to avoid this is just only buy from official seller, or even better, directly from the telecommunication company themselves. 8. Cyclos. You can see many cyclos on the street in Vietnam, but please be aware with that, because the cyclo driver can take you far from your desired destination, and he will ask for a crazy price to take you back. They may ask you for 500,000 Vietnam dong. It will be $25 for an hour for sightseeing tour around the city. So how to avoid? The best way to avoid the Cyclo scams is that you need to clarify all the price and the distance in advance with the Cyclo man. But most of them don't speak English, so that you can use the Google Translate to communicate with them. 9. ATM skimming. Vietnam is a mainly cash society, so you will find yourself visiting the ATM fairly often. And in some ATMs, they may have some skimmers which is installed and record your card details. So how to avoid this? The best way to avoid the ATM skimming is to be the particular in which ATM you decide to use. Make sure you visit once in controlled environment such as bank, where the staff monitor the machine with all the cameras. 10. Duplicate business. In Vietnam, some businesses they may call themselves the same or very similar name with some famous brands, with the hope that the traveler can recognize it and then utilize the service over the others. However, the service will be very poor compared to what they was expecting. So how to avoid this? The best way to avoid this type of scam is to make some research online before you going to Vietnam for your travel to find out the location of the actual companies. There were 10 scams you should avoid when going to Vietnam for your travel. And if you feel this video is helpful for you, please share this to all your friends to avoid all the scams in Vietnam. And if you have any further questions, contact us to WhatsApp, email or comment below. And thank you so much for your watching and see you in the next video. Bye!